Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on Quick Draw, we're going to take an in-depth look at the Glaive, mods and all. So, the second that DE announced that they'd be creating mods specifically for the Glaive, I nearly lost my shit. The Glaive on its own is probably one of my favorite melee weapons in game. Now, while the Glaive isn't necessarily the most efficient weapon available, it's by far one of the funnest. The Glaive's blueprint is available via alerts and as a login reward. But if you can't wait to get your hands on this spinny demon, you can pick it up in the market for 150 plat. Even more notably, for all you hardcore wallet warriors out there, it's also available in the Stealth Pack bundle alongside the Paris and Kunai, both of which are pretty solid weapons in their own right. Now, for those of you who haven't experienced the hilarity of the Glaive, it's one of the two thrown melee weapons in game. Instead of a traditional charge attack, the Glaive takes flight, bounces off of enemies, walls, and other solid things, then returns to your hand. Just take note that during its flight time, you will not have access to any form of melee attack. The Glaive's normal attacks do less than amazing blade damage, but giving it a toss alters it into an armor-ignoring serrated blade helicopter, which is perfect versus Grenier and those pesky ancient infested. Now, before we get in too deep, just be aware that all the mods I'm going to mention can also be slotted into the Kestrel. But let's face it, the Glaive looks way cooler. So let's take a quick look at the first two must-have mods that were released in Update 10. First and foremost, Whirlwind increases the Glaive's flight speed by 180% at max rank. The increase in speed helps deal with enemies that don't like to stand still, and also allows the Glaive to complete its flight pattern much quicker, which in the long run means that you'll be able to toss the Glaive more frequently. The next must-have mod is Power Throw. Power Throw allows your Glaive to pass through multiple enemies, depending on rank, shredding everything in its flight path until it hits a wall or barrier. Note that this does not work like the normal puncture mods, as it does not penetrate doors, walls, and at the moment, Grenier shield guys. I forgot their name. Sorry. The next two Glaive exclusive mods are Quick Return and Rebound. Both of these mods alter the bounce amount of the Glaive's flight pattern. Quick Return reduces the bounce, while Rebound increases it. These two can greatly alter the way you play your Glaive. Quick Return in combination with Power Throw and Whirlwind create the most predictable flight pattern for the Glaive, which tends to be extremely desirable for all the min-maxers out there. This combo also works well with infested minions, as they tend to run directly at you. It basically turns a Glaive into a Kestrel, except it ignores armor, but doesn't ragdoll the target. But for me, if I wanted a Kestrel, I'd equip a Kestrel. Personally, I much prefer the Rebound mod. The Glaive in itself has a bit of an RNG element to it, and that's what makes it fun for me. Watching it ricochet all over the place and randomly hit enemies before it returns to you, it's just so incredibly satisfying when it happens, and with the Whirlwind, the weight on its return isn't too bad. When it comes to min-max versus style points, I will always go for style points. Speaking of style, it's time for the gay factor. Rainbows! The gay factor. Yes, I'm sorry, it's still here and the graphic is still ghetto, but it's just gonna have to work for now. So, I know that this weapon is based off of the Glaive from Dark Sector, but personally, it takes me all the way back to the days of Final Fantasy VII, and one of my favorite characters of all time, Yuffie. Thank you, DE, for allowing me to live my lifelong fantasy of being a glaive-throwing, materia-hunting ninja. Seriously, someone make this girl a game, and I will play the shit out of it. Let's get back to the quick draw. So, the more I play Warframe, the more I look for unique mechanics to keep me interested. The Glaive does just that, and puts a big smile on my face at the same time. It's one of the few weapons that allow me to run a melee-only mission. It couples quite well with Mag's Bullet Attractor, allowing the Glaive to bounce multiple times on a single enemy. But, personally, I love playing this with Nyx, as Chaos tends to clump enemies together when they try to attack each other. So, for anyone looking for a unique, alterable melee weapon, the Glaive, mods and all, is a must-have. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Quick Draw. If you guys like this video, be sure to subscribe for more gaming content here at A Gay Guy Plays. Yeah, look at that. I guess you do pull aggro after all.